Hello everyone, myself Forum Makwana, Assistant Professor of EC Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In last session, we have started unit number 2 as per the GTO syllabus, that is orbits and launching method. We have finished the Kepler's law. In today's session, we will cover a definition of terms for the Earth orbiting satellites and the orbital elements. First, we are focusing on a definition of terms for the Earth orbiting satellites. As we have studied a different Kepler's law, which is defined for the planetary motion of satellite, which is actually applied in general for satellite motion around a primary body. But for the particular case of Earth orbiting satellites, certain terms are used which describes the position of orbit with respect to the Earth. So we will start different definitions starting from subsatellite path. So the subsatellite path is the path traced out on the Earth's surface directly below the satellite. How? I will show it to you with help of one diagram. This is our satellite, which is moving in specific orbit in space. So if I am doing a vertical projection of that satellite onto the surface of the Earth, then I will get one point. So that point is known as sub-satellite point. Okay. Next is apogee. Apogee means it is the point which is farthest from the Earth. This is our Earth. This is the elliptical orbit over which this satellite is moving. So this point is farthest from the surface of the Earth. So it is called the apogee. And the point which is closest to the Earth is called the perigee. Fourth is line of apsides. The line joining perigee point and the apogee point through the center of the Earth, this line is called line of apsides, right? Next definition is ascending node. Ascending node means it is the point where this orbit crosses this equatorial plane from south pole to north pole. So it is known as ascending node, this point. Okay. Descending node means a point where this orbit crosses the equatorial plane going from north to south is called descending node. And next is line of nodes. So the line joining descending node and the ascending node through the center of the earth is called line of nodes. See, there are two lines. One is line of nodes and one is line of apsides. Line of apside stands for the line joining apogee point and perigee point, and line of nodes means line joining ascending and the descending nodes. Okay. Next definition is inclination angle. Inclination means, I will show it with one diagram. This is equatorial plane, this is orbital plane. So the angle between orbital and equatorial plane is called the inclination, right? Next is prograde orbit. Prograde orbit means the orbit in which the satellite moves in the same direction as the earth rotates. So this orbit is known as prograde orbit, right? And retrograde means the orbit in which a satellite moves in counterclockwise direction with respect to the earth's rotation is called retrograde orbit. Counterclockwise means retrograde, clockwise means prograde. Okay. Now next is argument of perigee. So the argument of perigee, it is represented as the omega over here. It is an angle which is measured from ascending node to perigee, and it is measured in the orbital plane. In which direction? In the direction of satellite motion, right? So this angle is known as argument of perigee. That is omega. Now next is mean anomaly. Mean anomaly gives an average value of angular position of satellite with reference to perigee, which we can see that if we want to find the angular position of satellite with reference to perigee, then it is called mean anomaly. Second is true anomaly. So true anomaly is the angle from perigee to satellite position measured at Earth's center, right? There are two terms, mean anomaly and true anomaly. Mean anomaly, which represents the angular position of satellite with reference to perigee, and true anomaly is the angle from perigee to the satellite position, but it is with reference to Earth center. And the last definition is right ascension of ascending node. Over here it is represented as this symbol, ohm. So it is the angle measured eastward in the equatorial plane from the line of arise to the ascending node is called right ascension of ascending node. Now, what do you mean by line of arise? Or you can say that first point of rise, or you can say that equinox. So, to define completely the position of orbit in space, the position of ascending node is specified. But as we know that our earth is rotating, but the ascending node should be a fixed. But as the earth rotates, there is a small drift in ascending node. So, for the practical determination of orbit, the longitude and the time of crossing of ascending nodes are frequently used. So, the reference point which is chosen as the first point of arise, or you can say a line of rise. So, this angle is known as the right ascension of ascending node. Okay, so these are the definitions. Now, the next point is orbital elements. The importance of orbital elements, which defines what is the shape of the orbit, what is the actual position of satellite, what is the angle of orbit, right? So these are described with the help of orbital elements, and there are total 6 orbital elements. First one is semi-major axis, centricity, mean anomaly, argument of perigee, inclination, and the right ascension of ascending node. The first and the second, semi-major axis and eccentricity, which gives the shape of the ellipse, that means a shape of the orbit. Second, the mean anomaly gives the position of satellite in its orbit. The next is argument of perigee, which gives the rotation of orbit's perigee point relative to orbit's line of nodes. Because Earth is continuously rotating and satellite is also continuously rotating. So every time the perigee point will also changing. So if we want to define the rotation of perigee point with relative to the orbit's line of nodes in equatorial plane, the argument of perigee is used. And the last one, inclination and the right ascension of ascending node, which defines the orbital's plane's position relative to Earth. So over here we have finished orbital elements and the different definitions. These are the references. Thank you.